Hi, I'm Sandra Oberoi, and I've had a fantastic discussion with this dynamic young gentleman, Vir Gupta, for his podcast. He got me to talk about a bunch of things: who my mentor is, why I do what I do, why I teach, where it all started, something that I hold on to very dearly, some really interesting things. And I hope you enjoy listening to all of that as much as I enjoyed sharing it with him and with all of you.
Dude, is life a perception based on perspective or is perspective based on perceptions?
Have you completely lost it?
No, wait, it's just perceptions.
Isn't life just like a box of paints, full of colorful people, events, and
Arey no, it's just black and white, like binary.
Dude, for people like us and all, there are only two options in life. So engineering or medicine.
Bro, come on. There's a whole lot more to life than just that. You're just looking at it from the wrong perspective.
That's completely anti-national. How can you say that? I mean, how can you not be patriotic?
I don't believe in such ideas, to be honest. The notion of a country itself is just this perception that is implanted in our minds.
Children, life is just like a balance sheet. You must balance things out to give rise to that final statement, just as a balance sheet declares a final statement.
Has she gone mad?
No, dude. Think about it.
Perspectives. Life through perspectives and perceptions.
Episode 15, Hitting the Right Notes with Sandra Oberoi, founder of Harmony, the music school.
Hello! I'm your host, Vir Gupta, and welcome to the Perspectives podcast. You can also listen to the show on your preferred streaming service, whether it's Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Anchor, or whatever it may be. And whilst on there, please don't forget to leave a review, a like, and a rating. It'll mean the world to me. Go ahead and check out the links down below to know more. My guest today is quite a fascinating person. She's been running one of the country's leading music schools for over 12 years now, after founding the school herself. On this episode, she talks about how and why she started the school, how the meaning of her name connects to what she's been doing for years and years, and a whole lot more. So, without further ado, I welcome on the founder of the Harmony Music School in Bangalore, Sandra Oberoi.
Thank you, Veer. I'm so excited to have this chat with you.
Yeah, so we are in a strange time.
Aren't we?
So, how are you doing right now with the situation and with everything that's happening?
You're asking me about myself or about the school or what is it?
It's just everything that's happening. It's just such a mess.
It is a mess. But I think in all this madness, it's given me some time to ponder on what really matters.
Yeah.
I think that's been a big takeaway from me from all that's happened over the last couple of weeks, especially. Now, with the school, initially there were a few hiccups and things like that, but I think over time we overcame all of that and we've moved everything online.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, it's interesting doing music lessons, teaching singing and all of that online. It does, I must say, take a bit more effort, but the yields are certainly much better because children can't goof off. They can't say, oh, I'm skipping class because I have tuition or I have something else. So I think it's got its fascinating side as well. And then I get a lot of recordings of students coming in, so you can keep listening to them over and over again. And here I am, this one person who never thought that I'd ever do something online. So yeah, I think with this lockdown and with this whole situation, it's brought out some good as well that I never thought would have been possible.
It has, in a way, but as a teacher, would you say that you can sit and do online classes further on, or when things eventually hopefully get back to normal, would you be like, I want to just get people back in the studio or back face to face?
I think I do like this as well. Yes, there is a part of me that terribly misses having that human connection and looking at my students and getting feedback right then and there from them and feeling with them. But I think this sort of an experience has also given me the idea that I could be sitting anywhere in the world and I could be still connecting with my students. That way, I don't know. Maybe I will go back. Maybe I won't go back. Maybe it's going to be half and half. I don't know.
At least you have the option.
At least that's the thing. Yeah, I have the option.
Let's move on to like leading a chorus. Obviously, you're leading this entire school. That must be something else, right?
I miss my choir with every ounce of everything in me.
Like leading a virtual choir?
Yeah, don't even talk about it. Oh my gosh, how did I even forget that? Yes, every other side of my teaching has been modified, it's been amplified, it's been great, but the one thing that I miss is interacting with my choir. That has to happen in a space where everyone's together. Doing it virtually is just not the same deal, right? So that is something I miss. And the harmony chorus has been singing and really bringing joy to so many, and it's like, oh gosh, we can't do it. I know the kids feel bad too.
It's a bit strange, but the thing about leading a choir, why did that appeal to you so much of just leading a group? You're leading a school, you're leading a group.
When I was about 11 or 12 years old, the one genre that fascinated me was a cappella, music without accompaniment. And I remember when I was about that age, I used to get all my cousins together and teach them to sing in different parts. And I said to myself, you know what? One day when I grow up, I am going to teach a fabulous choir that's going to sing and our music is going to go all over the world. I just said this somewhere at the back of my head. But mind you, here's someone who all along had in my mind that I would be a molecular biologist. Nowhere a musician,
my God, that's
right?
a fast stretch.
I know, right?
So, how did it all start with like music and singing, and how did that just carry on?
I started singing when I was about 3 years old, my first public performance. So that came naturally. But I never thought of making a, so to speak, career out of it, right? So I just was fascinated with the way voices blended with each other and how it sounded and all of that. So I think as time went by and when I had the opportunity to actually have the school and teach and train a choir, and just not any choir. Now we've come to a point we've been singing the choir. The school is just around 12 years old or a little over. But the choir is about 9+ years old. So there are some members who've been singing for the last 9 years in the choir, right? So they've literally grown since the time they were 4 or 6 or whatever. They've been singing and they've grown with it. So you can imagine what a refined and a beautiful sound they create now. And it's not so much leading at this point. It's really helping them discover what they can do. I think I enjoy that. I don't think I'm a sage on a stage type person. I think I'm the guide on the side. I'd like to think of myself.
That's a nice way to put it. But I feel that the great part about choir is like you get to assemble what this person does, what that person does, and just putting it all together. What is that feeling like? It's great to see it all come together finally.
Yeah, that is quite fulfilling, I would say, in many ways. But see, like I'm saying, now the group has come, especially our senior members. When I say senior, it's not that they're 60 plus. These are kids who are between the ages of 14 to 17. They have artistic capabilities to decide, and I'm sometimes amazed at the kind of choices they make, and it's beautiful. Even I don't think I would have thought about it, including in the harmonies and things like that. And I think with my kids, they're my babies. You know, they come home, I cook for them sometimes. We've gone on 2 international tours. It's different. It's a relationship. It's a family. It's not so much just teacher-student.
9 years with someone is like a really long time. So do you ever find yourself asking yourself that, hey, what can I learn from this child today that I've been with for 9 years? Or something like that.
It's so interesting you ask me this. I think I've understood it right. Okay, my brain is firing now. Because I'm sometimes wondering, excuse me, are you that same kid who came to me when you were 6 and look what you've become now? They can be naughty. That's what I mean sometimes, right? But sometimes they can be absolutely delightful to work with. So, yes, I would say looking at them, especially through the process of adolescence with hormone changes and mood swings and oh boy, all kinds of things. I tell the kids, look, I think after your parents, I think I know you the best. But there's always something to learn from children, always. And some of our students who have gone on, so Harmony alumni.
Oh, right.
They
You have those now,
yeah,
which is
I
great.
have those too. I have people who've gone to Berkeley, gone to National University, Singapore, Oxford, UK.
Right.
So they've gone on, but they're still connected.
And with the school being 12 plus years old now, it's like this huge family, which is amazing. So, is there a different purpose from when you started it to what the purpose is today?
You know, when I started, I had dreams, Veer. I had dreams. My long-term goal was to open a university.
Oh, wow.
Okay. As time went by, I sort of tapered it down a bit. And I said, okay, I can't have the university, but I can train kids to get into some of the best universities in the world. Let's start there, right? And so that's happened. So I'm not going to say that I've completely lost out on my goal of wanting to have a really good place where people in India can get high quality, affordable music education. But I just say I have to be realistic. And I think looking at how things are moving now and all that's happening, I have to rethink my strategy.
So, what exactly was the inspiration and the purpose of starting the school back then?
The very interesting thing that made me actually start Harmony was bad teaching given to Tiara, my older girl. She was 4 years old and I signed her up at a music school. And I'm trained in music, but you hear these ideas, a parent can't teach a child. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Forget it. So I had all those thoughts. I'm a new mom. I mean, I have 2 little children. I would take what wisdom comes from others. And so I kept observing how the gentleman who was working with her worked with her, and I was not too happy. And I said, excuse me, would you, is it possible? I didn't want to be like a helicopter mom kind of
obviously.
thing, but still. But then I realized, asking him a few fundamental questions after about 2 or 3 months, that gave me a sense of, oh my gosh, this is totally skewed. I need to do it. And just before that, I had a few people who knew my musical background and they were asking me, when are you going to start something? Are you going to start lessons? We want to send our children. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. And things like that. But that was the first point at which I started off. And so I actually started Harmony with 3 students in my house. And then within about 3 months, it just took off and it flew, and I found, oh my gosh, I can't hold this anymore. And so I needed help, and there's just been no turning back. I'm grateful to God for that.
So over the years, Harmony has branched out to do various things, right? From fundraisers to shows to YouTube videos to whatnot. And YouTube in particular, you have to shoot your own video, you have to produce it, edit it, master it, get it out to people, spread the word, and everything else. What has that experience sort of been like?
At the core of everything we do at Harmony, we say it's to do with music with a purpose. Okay? So yes, we're doing music for music's sake. So I'm enjoying the process. But if at all there is a possibility for me to take that to the next level and impact in a way that either stirs up some positivity in somebody else, just an emotion of happiness or whatever it is, right? Or just makes them feel that their day is a little better, why not? So with that idea is when we actually started expanding into concerts, and we've done plenty of fundraising for old age homes, for children with AIDS, for all kinds of things, but using music. That's the point. I'm telling my kids, you can sing and you can raise money through that. Bring joy, but with a purpose as well, for a social agency, right? And then I realized, wow, this doesn't even have to just stay within us. It can go to California, to Australia, to Greenland. We've had people write to us from all these places. I'm so amazed. So that's when I said, I think we need to take this to the next level. And so YouTube is, what a great platform, right? What a great tool. I know, to just go everywhere. And now, sitting here in my home, I'm teaching students from other parts of the world as well. Now, I never thought that was possible.
Yeah, coming back to you and how you started. You mentioned that you've been singing since you were the age of 3. Like, starting then is one thing, but continuing is another thing. What is it for you that kept you going? Like, whether I want to just listen to it or do it and spread love?
You know, when I sang, I would see what it would do, not just for me, but for others.
Yeah.
There was magic that's, in a sense, ineffable. Cannot be put to words, right? I would look at that or sense that, and I think that's one of the things that kept me going. So, like I said, I never ever thought that I would come to this point, becoming a musician. But I remember when I was in grade 10, I used to take part in a lot of debates, extempos and this and that and what have you nots, right? And so this one question was posed to me at one of these competitions, so to speak. They said, how do you see yourself, your usual 10 years from now?
Right.
And I said to the audience, my name is Sandra, which means helper of mankind. And in 10 years from now, I just hope that I continue helping mankind in whatever way possible. And at that time, remember, I said I wanted to be a molecular biologist. And so I thought I'd come up with a cure for some cancer or something. I don't know what. But that was my dream. And I didn't know that, wow, I could impact with music too. It was happening subtly all along. But I realized it much later, and I love it.
So just this slow burn of like, okay, this is nice, it gets better and better, and then you finally reach that.
No, it was always good. It was always a great feeling. I was always called to sing at this event or that thing or whatever. There was always that happening. Pardon me for using the word, there was a high in performing. I just enjoyed performing. I loved it. I loved what it did to people. I loved what it did for me. But through that process, the realization of it and how big an impact it had, I think that came to me much later. You know, that, okay, I can be helper of mankind through music. Even if you can do service and impact one person, you have helped, right? Or 2 people or 3 people, whatever. If you can influence your family to be better people, why not?
And was there ever a musician or an artist where that
I get asked that, but strangely, no. I listen to a lot of genres like you, a lot of different genres. I think one of my role models, or my biggest role model, I'm going to say, is my dad. Still is my biggest role model. It was he who introduced me to music at a very, very young age. Apparently, before I spoke, I sang. So I don't know. I mean, that's just a way of saying it. But something that my dad said to me, which I will always carry with me: nobody can ever take away a skill from you. Once it's with you, once you've got it, they can't take it away from you. So be open, be willing, be ready. So I think that idea stuck with me, and I was willing to explore different styles, do a bunch of things. I mean, of course, I have a lot of artists that I thoroughly admire and respect. Thoroughly, right? But I can't say I have one favorite. But I told you I love a cappella, still do. It just does something to me.
YouTube is filled with some amazing acapellas. It's really quite amazing. Like from your famous pentatonics to the...
Oh, my famous pentatonic. Okay,
I'm saying like they're the people who are the bar. They're like, anyone wants to do acapella, like, oh, pentatonics.
Yes.
So today, sitting here, what keeps you going generally? Why are you still motivated to do the online class? You could easily say that I don't want to take the class, I didn't have someone else take it. Or is it just that I want to just teach? Or is there something more motivating you and pushing you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for me, I'm all about living a purpose-driven life, right? So teaching to me definitely brings in that purpose, and inspiring and impacting the younger generation is so fulfilling in more ways than one, and I love that. And that's what I'm saying. I put away my PhD for such a long time only because I kept thinking to myself, oh my gosh, how can I leave my students and go? They need guidance, they need help, etc., etc., etc. But now I know, it's possible. If I can do it. I mean, anyways, I'm doing it for them.
Correct.
But it is possible. And see, I wouldn't have come to that realization had it not been for this situation that we are in today, right? So I'm grateful in more ways than one. But I think what continues to keep me inspired is just the stories that come out of the children. Just the kind of lives, the kind of love that they show, the kind of drive and passion that they have for the art and to be better. I'm so proud of them, and I can't think of myself doing anything else.
I like how you describe it as if you're a mother.
I told you, Veer.
That's exactly what it is. You're like, they're so passionate about what they're doing. So like, even I'm going to be so passionate.
Yeah, I think so. We ought to be good examples for those that follow. Don't you think? I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and tell everybody you have to do this and you have to do that, and if I myself am living the exact opposite and not doing it, excuse me, what's happening, right? So I think in that sense, I keep telling all my students, never stop learning. The day you stop learning, that day you just stop living. Never stop learning. There's always something new you can learn every day. And YouTube itself, since you love YouTube so much, has tons and tons of free information, great information, right? To better yourself. And so that's the whole idea. Now today, my calling is such that I have to be a teacher. Tomorrow, my calling may be such that I need to change and do something else. But I think, as the Lord leads, for now, I need to fulfill what I've been called to do to the best of my ability.
From this sort of interview, I sort of learned that the one thing that you want from a student is that to have a purpose.
Yes.
And a reason.
Agreed. Sometimes I have some people walk in here who already have some kind of a sketchy notion of, they have some idea. And I'm very excited then. Oh my gosh, yes, let me help you, right? Let me help you find that aha moment. But there may be some that come totally lost. Miss, can you help me? I really don't know what I need to be doing. And so, there may be some that they start off really bad, but along the way, they have these magic moments where they suddenly decide, this is it. This is what I want to do. And so that just gives me utmost joy that, wow, you found that here? Oh my gosh.
So to help them reach what they need.
Reach the best that they can.
Just before we sort of wrap up, I'd just like to ask you, is there any favorite performance of yours or a favorite album of yours that you go back and listen to, or ask your students that if you really want some inspiration or if you really want something that you guys...
You know what, Veer? I say to my students, every time you sing or every time you perform, sing or perform like it's the last time you'd ever do it. So I know that whenever I perform, it is from my heart. And I don't know if I can point out to a particular time, but I can point out to one instance in my life when I had to go to Nigeria and teach a bunch of about 16 boys there. These boys were orphan boys who were taken off the street because they were abandoned. And this home that I had gone to teach at was taking care of them and helping them, in vocational training and just building them up, helping them find their calling, right? And so they asked me, I had actually done a workshop in the US, and there was a lady from Nigeria who attended it, and she came up to me after the workshop and said, Miss, I'm asking you this. Miss Sandra, I'm asking you this. But I know it's already no.
Yeah.
But I still want to ask you, will you come to Nigeria? Will you come to Uyo?
Okay.
I said, okay. Why are you just saying no? I mean, I won't come. She said, it's dangerous. I said, it's okay. Let me think about this. But yes, I'll make it possible. And a year from then, there I was. And that time, actually performing not just for, but with these boys. Trust me, Veer, many people dissuaded me from going. They in fact told my husband, are you mad in sending her? I mean, people hold guns to you and, they will rob you and this and that. Why are you sending her? And I remember at that time when I landed there and had these beautiful opportunities of music making with them, it was something else. So it's not recorded, that I can, like you said, go back and look at it. But that memory is so fresh in my mind. And I think back on how eager and how these little guys was feeling so blessed and so in the moment. They just loved it and they performed with me and they sang with me, and what I was teaching them, they just gobbled it up like they were getting little pieces of gold. So I love that music can be so powerful. Yeah. And that's what I keep telling my students. Don't take these situations for granted. When you can learn, when you can grow, when you can, you're learning a craft, a skill that is so powerful, it can slice through somebody's hardened heart. So don't take it lightly.
Exactly.
Yeah, grow your craft.
It's something very, very different. It's quite amazing. Just to sort of close this out, is there something bigger and better for Harmony that you're aiming for, or is it just spreading the love of music and the message, or finding and helping people get through what they love?
Well, something interesting that happened during the lockdown, not just with me having to teach students internationally, we now have international faculty who have joined Harmony, which I didn't think was possible. We've had international people, artists come down and do workshops here, but now they are offering online classes through Harmony, right? So that collaboration is there. And we even have the head of piano studies at University of Chicago. She is on our faculty as well now. I didn't think this was possible. So I'm actually very excited. I dream dreams because dreaming is free and there's nothing wrong with dreaming. So I dream dreams. But I have to say, honestly, sometimes I myself am surprised. So like I told you earlier about the big university thing and all of that, that's there somewhere down in the pipeline. Who knows? One would never know. But I'm amazed at beautiful things coming along the way, at even things that my students are doing. 8 of them have performed at Carnegie Hall. They've won international competitions and performed. I didn't think it was possible that from here, in this little school here in Bangalore, that students would make an impact globally, which is so wonderful. So I'm always excited about every new day and what it's going to present. I don't want to limit myself to, let's just do this. Just be excited and see what happens.
And I think that's a great way to close this out. I mean, staying very, very positive in this time. But yes, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Veer. I appreciate this time and I loved your questions. You're a fine gentleman now, aren't you?
Thank you so much for coming on. You can catch Sandra Oberoi on her Instagram @Sandra Oberoi. You can also check out Sandra Oberoi and the Harmony Music School's YouTube channels, which are linked down below as well, for some amazing videos and just amazing music as well. You can find Harmony, the music school, on Instagram at Harmony_the music school. You can find them on Facebook at Harmony the music school, and the Harmony chorus is available on Instagram at the Harmony chorus, and you can find them on Facebook at the Harmony chorus, as well as their YouTube channel. So yes, you can also follow me at perspections.podcast. You can check out my YouTube channel, which is linked below, where I have sketches and quizzes and things of that sort. Be sure to also check out the other episodes of this podcast. And you can follow me at @Veer_Gupta. And please don't forget to leave a review and a rating on whatever streaming service you are listening to. And yeah, until the next episode. Goodbye.